Now, the Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte has apologised for the role that the Netherlands had in slavery. Mr. Rutte also said that slavery must be recognised in the clearest terms as a crime against humanity. He said slavery caused, as he put it, untold suffering for untold numbers of people, which continued in the lives of people today.
Denise Marlo. You are now listening to the Drunken Monks Podcast.
Ask for the penicillin highball at your favorite bar.
Hi, amita Denise de Drunken Monks, Anto nos vai start com de 4 temporada de The Drunken Monks. Como muestro de nos aprecio, nos lo dona iPhone SE na final de temporada aqui. Se você quer participar, você vive na Curacao of St. Martin e você tem 18 anos ou mais. Você subscribe, então mais like, mais comment, mais chance de ganhar o iPhone SE. Queda pendiente.
Shakalaka. You always gonna do that?
Yes.
Man, ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again. We are back. My name is Marlo Brown.
Denise, live from the monastery.
Viber.
Yeah, also.
You're not messing it up already. How much have you had?
Well,
this is Christmas time.
I want to say it's the season of merrymaking.
Yeah, but Jesus. Are you making a little bit of merry right now, sweetheart?
The merrymaking is starting just now.
Just now?
Starting tomorrow, I have like activities every evening, basically.
Christmas party for the office, like already happened?
See, we had a Christmas party for the ministry, but I'm gonna have a Christmas party for my department.
Oh, cool.
I have a wine tasting.
A wine tasting.
I have a bunch of things.
Friends or just with colleagues or what?
With my mom.
Oh, look. Hey, just
get,
mom.
Drunk with the mother.
The original drunken monk or?
The OG.
Denise. Yo. Let's just jump into it, man. Something happened today.
Wait. What are we drinking, actually?
We are drinking, well, I'm drinking, and I think you're drinking Captain and Coke.
Was it spicy water?
Spicy water.
And the black gold.
Yes, man. Spicy water, black gold, Texas tea. Lord. Yeah, but
See, we were jumping right into what?
because I'm hot for it. I am hot for it.
Yeah, I see you sweating, so yeah.
Yeah. Now, boy, the apology came.
Yeah.
The apology.
Did you expect the apology to be given, or how do you say
I didn't know what the hell to
expect
expect.
Upon us?
I honestly didn't know what the hell to expect. And it's because that it's a thing that needs goodness and it coming from politicians, I had very little hope.
Okay.
I had very little hope, man. I had very little hope as to what it could have been. But I have to admit, I think Rutte did a hell of a job. Like, I don't think that this is the be-all and end-all, by far, no. But I think that Rutte, at least he impressed me. For somebody who has made a lifetime of watching speeches and knowing how to read between the lines and what the achterliggende could be and how it could have gone worse. And especially for something like this where you have to walk an extremely tight rope of... You don't want to come over as too sincere because then it klinkt well that you're being patronizing. You don't want to come over as too detached because it looks like you don't give a damn. You don't want to come over as too rhetoric because then it sounds like you don't know what you're talking about. But you don't want to bog down people and facts and with numbers and dates too much as well, like either. I think he struck the line. Whoever is, like you had said to me, because you and I like a chat like a one or so, whoever is his speechwriter, this was your line, that person needs a raise, like for real, for real. But I would ask you the same thing since I've made mention of your line.
I was also, I don't know if I was impressed. Yeah, I could say I was pleasantly surprised. I thought the speech was well written, well delivered. The tone to me was exactly right, because I was afraid that there was going to be some tone deaf story like usual.
Oh yeah.
And it's like you said, you know, you cannot be too this, too that, too sus, too so. It has to be just right. And in the previous episode, you said like you only get one shot. You can only do this once.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking he nailed it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he nailed. And at the beginning, I was a little bit skeptical. Look back at the other show. I was like, yeah, if there is so much commotion, do you really need to apologize right now? But the way it was phrased, I was like, yeah, it makes sense. It was not perfect time, but it was a good time, and it was gewoon, yeah. I can't say nothing.
Here's what I appreciated about it, because I watched it once. You sent me the transcript. I read the transcript, and then I watched it again. And then what had struck me was two things. So and I do it because I have a speech impediment, but there's a trick in speech giving, or when you're speaking out in public, that there's like little guidelines and tricks. So like rule of three, like I do that a lot. But
what is rule of three?
Like you repeat something 3 times, or you give 3 examples. But that's like something about the human brain just naturally latches on to that. And you know what? Now that I've told you this, trust me, watch anything or watch how you speak, and you'll notice that you do it too. But everybody that does it in it's almost kind of naturalistic, or taken as naturalistic.
Okay.
But that's one guideline. But you repeat something often enough so that you get the point across. And Rutte left no ambiguity as to what we were talking about. Because again, you could have gone into rhetoric and it hurts, and the related, and all this. And that's where they started. But then he started to rattle off specific dates and numbers and actions, and we did this, that was wrong. We did that was wrong. We did this, that was wrong. Indonesia over here, that was wrong. Suriname over here, that was wrong. And just repeating it over and over and over again. And he did it in such a way where it wasn't, at least for me to think, the populace can look at him and say, oh, you're being an apologist, even though it's an apology, right? But you cannot deny, as even the worst, person that wants to deny all of this, that this happened. There was no ambiguity in that speech. There was no wiggle room. There was no, I think that he almost made it like a prosecutor. Like, these are the facts. This is what happened. This is our place in it. We're done. And there's nothing to pick apart from that. Now, how you react to that, because the thing that, like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic about it, because how he came across with the hairstyle part, that was vague. That was very open-ended. That was very, very non-committal. Like he said, we need the hairstyle, and we need to go into the future together and all of that. And so, but there's no kind of specificity on that one at all.
No, but I don't think it was possible to do that now either. And he built his case perfectly. Yeah. Because he was like, okay, first you need recognition, then you need an apology, and then you can repair stuff. Even paraphrasing. Yeah. So we're now in the apology phase. Right. So now I think the discussions are going, because you don't want to haphazardly, because remember, it's only, I think, like over the summer, everybody was busy with the slavernijverleden. In October, the Dutch cabinet or the government said, okay, I think we should do something with the apology. So October to now is niet veel tijd. So you really need to study the things properly, and you really, 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 really need to think about, okay, what is this reparation? How is it gonna look like? And what is enough? So I
like that he used the word herstel and not reparations in Dutch.
Why?
Because again, like you get some of your opponent is weird, but the terminology matters. if people were calling it climate change instead of global warming, half of the arguments that they had in the States and elsewhere wouldn't have happened because, like, see, it's getting colder. Like, you know, like the terminology that you use is a little important. And I think that reparations as righteous to me as that word is, I can imagine that it sticks in a lot of people's craw to hear that word.
No, but de normale vertaling of reparation in Dutch would be herstelbetaling.
Herstelbetaling, but herstel, as it sounds in my ears, also sounds like, oh, we're going to heal this, or like we're going to repair this.
But that's not exactly what reparation is. You repair, reparation. Repair.
You don't feel that there's a difference in like how you bring like something across?
Yes, but in this case, no. Nah. In this case, no.
All right, cool. Well,
but what I liked is that he also, he made it personal. Of course, that's a trick you also do. If you make a speech, make it personal. Yeah. But I think it was something that a lot of people can relate to on both sides of the fence. He said, you know, in the past, I didn't think that we should apologize. He didn't say it. He phrased it beautifully. He said, in the past, I didn't think there was a way to respectfully acknowledge all that was wrong, something to those lines. But then now he gained insight and he changed his mind. He sees the effects. He went to Suriname. He found out this, that, the other. We could have that same discussion that we had a couple of episodes back where you said, yeah, well, okay, finally, like, did you really have to go all the way to Suriname to figure shit out that was known for as long as?
And I still stand by that. Huh?
But I like
because that was a part of the speech too that he said, yo, our bad it took this long. Like, you know, like he said it like about maybe twice, you know, like, yo, it's a shame but we're here now. So let's do something about it.
So I like that he said, okay, you know, voortschrijdend inzicht, that was not his word, but like he developed his thinking and he reconsidered and he sees the importance. So that was a nice point. And what I also thought was nice is we're in this together. We are doing this so that we can move ahead, that we can go to the future. This is our path of everybody's past, our communal past, or I don't know how you want to call it. Because usually in Holland, I felt that people are white European Dutch people, doesn't matter where. They always feel that this is so black people's history. It's not their history, but it's just as much their history.
They had nothing to do with it. That was my grandfather. That wasn't me.
Exactly. So, but I thought it was nice that he paid some attention to that. So I really
a lot of good language towards inclusion, like towards the fact that empathy for the other, but the other shouldn't be the other anymore, and that's how we're here in the first place. Like that was the between the lines I got.
See, and using terminology that's important to us.
Slaaf gemaakte mens, yo.
Ancestors. He's talking about ancestors. He's naming names. You know, he spoke about Tula, about different important.
I got a little annoyed.
Oh, why?
I got a little annoyed. Stacia got our own little guy too, like as well. We got Black Harry.
Oh, he wasn't mentioned.
That's my point. So I got a little annoyed, but that, you know, like I could let it slide. But okay, so here's a little bit of speculation now, and a little bit of pontification, if you're willing to join me. I'm supremely curious what is going to happen in a diplomatic sense with Suriname going forward. I am supremely curious. Because,
like in what sense?
So it's easy enough to like say that you make a move, you want to herstel, and I'm not saying it's easy to make a plan, but I'm saying it's easier to get something going in Curacao and like Aruba Station, all of that, to like say, okay, you know what, we're gonna build you all the schools, we're gonna, you know, give you all of the healthcare, whatnot, and so, because it's within the purview of the kingdom. But Suriname is an independent country right now. Yeah. Has been.
Yeah.
And if they want a herstel, what does herstel look like between the two? Like not just reparations, but maybe diplomatic ties getting closer, maybe not getting back into the kingdom. I don't think that nobody wants
No,
that.
they're not gonna get back in the
Right,
kingdom.
but then what? Do like Surinamese get to go there? Maybe visa free.
I
like is there
highly doubt that.
trade relations that might happen? Like what? Hence me asking, what does it look like?
Well,
Like what would that look like?
since the new government, it's not no longer a new government in Surinamese, but since this current government took office, you see the Dutch are cozying up to them. Because it's not
Yeah, but there's a
Bouterse, it's
reason
not
too as well,
strawmans of Bouterse, so it's okay. We can finally get back. So there was in the beginning a lot of attention from the Holland on trade, on improving relations, and it was a new era, a new whatever. It
Yeah,
might have
but
something to do with oil and
Thank you.
gas being found.
I wanted to put it there, but Jesus.
Het is een beetje verdacht that now you're cozying up now that there is this probably huge oil field right on in the coast of Suriname. So I don't know if the haste for this reparation talk of this apology is also has to do with that. I don't want to be cynical.
That is a little bit of cynicism, boy. That is a little bit, and yeah.
I don't know. So I think they will continue. The Dutch will continue on this train like of improving relations,
Right.
and especially of course in their interests. Because the Dutch are the Dutch.
Dutch are the Dutch.
It's always in their interests. So they will do something for Suriname and for us, reparations, blah, blah, but they will also benefit from it. I'm sure about that. So indeed, the question is now, what nu? Maar I'm thinking this was the first step.
Right.
And in the what nu, hoe verder, you have to include everybody. I think the apology part, indeed, is like what I said last week as well. You have to, like, I cannot... If you do something to me, I cannot tell you how to apologize to me. Then I said, okay, I understand because of the draagvlak and everything, but you have to apologize. So that is your end of the bargain, you know?
And plus, to be fair, if I gotta hold your hand in such a thing and you don't have the sensitivity, it is ook een beetje onbegonnen werk. Dus dan.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like if I gotta like hold a gun to your head, they read this, you know, like neither you nor I will be satisfied.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. But then okay, so then this would be like okay, let me say it right. I put this one to bed. I don't know what the other groups are saying. I don't know what the black nationalists across the board are saying.
Upset.
Why are they upset?
Nou, in ieder geval in Curacao, it was very interesting because did I have an issue with the way the show was? Because there was a whole ceremony, yeah? So we had a ceremony, then Prime Minister Rutte apologized in the speech that we both really loved, and then
because I stopped watching there, Nadja. Like what the feed was. Once the speech was at its end, because I had shit to do. Like I won't tell you no lie.
See, and then staatssecretaris, I'm like Pekpisas now. Staatssecretaris Alexander van Huffelen, then she was here in Curacao to basically explain or to give further context or whatever to what the Prime Minister this is what Rutte had said. In Suriname, there was a minister. So every country had a representative of the Dutch state to basically explain or to expound upon whatever Mark Rutte had said. So you had Alexandra van Huffelen, after Alexandra van Huffelen, and she really went all out with Papiamento, like not half, but like a good bit of her speech was in Papiamento.
Cringeworthy, or was she sounding good?
Because it was okay, bordering on cute, like
Lord. No, because like even though that I like the speech that Rutte gave, but there was a couple of cringeworthy moments I felt.
But there's always gonna be a little bit of cringeworthiness,
Lord,
you know?
man, okay, Lord, help you like you're trying. That's okay.
So and that was what I was feeling, like you're trying. So she and then our Prime Minister, I was not in love with his speech. And then he addressed the Dutch government and especially Staatssecretaris van Huffelen in Dutch.
That's the thing.
I was not a fan at all.
Look, I'm not gonna get into what Pick did or didn't do, but it's like trying to get subtlety from a tiger or from like a bull. Like, you know what I mean? Like homeboy don't, you know, like something like this would need like a somber tone, a little bit kind of relaxed, more humble.
Yeah.
That boy is made for bombast, man.
He's not your boy. He's not your
He
man.
don't need, he's like me. Like, he don't need a megaphone. Like, he could just speak.
Not your man.
And you hear him halfway down the thing, and he's bombastic and, you know, big.
Yeah,
and
the speech was prepared, but it was not, I found it was not his language. It was not his thing. So I wasn't in love with the speech. After him, Minister of Culture, Youth. Dus eigenlijk OWCS, onderwijs, so education, wetenschap, science, sports, and culture.
That's a
culture and sports. He also gave a speech. I don't understand why he was there. You already have your prime minister, so okay, maybe because there was a staatssecretaris, you had a prime minister and staatssecretaris, so we also wanted a prime minister and somebody below him. I don't know.
But wouldn't you want the head of the stat department then at that point? Because it's about relations at that point. Oh no.
Yeah, but that's also that's general affairs, but also that's also PICPISAS. So I don't know, but the speech of the Minister of Education was not strong at all. I couldn't even pay attention. That was not interesting. And then as laatste, you had the guy who was in the organization that was doing the whole slavery research and who were pushing this apology thing. And he also had a speech which was okay.
All right.
I wanted to make a point by this whole introduction.
But the point was is that whether or not that the groups that were looking at reparations and whatnot.
Oh ja, maar dus so dat was een beetje de setup. Maar before the whole program with all these speeches, they had a cultural programma. And that was my first point of, was it not annoyance, maar dat ik dacht van, man, so it was gewoon weer typisch. If you think Curaçao culture, people always think tamboe, people always think, I don't know, gewoon heel typisch. They think Elia Isenia, which is one of the singers. You have certain stereotypes. What is culture?
Scripts.
En dat hebben ze precies gedaan. I'm like, could we get with the times maybe? Maar okay, so we had Elia Isenia. But it was interesting because they called it the rite of healing.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, this was going to be a ritual apparently and something. What did this lady do? And she is a highly revered person within the culture scene of Curaçao. And she knows the old language that they used to speak here. And she knows a lot of old history and song and music and whatever. So she was invited. Of course she was invited. She went rogue, I believe, because she was singing a song and the words were, let's choke this apology. We're not gonna impapimento. So, what? And this thing was called the rite of healing. It was the rite of healing, but you're singing that we're gonna not accept this apology, that we're gonna choke this apology, that you're tired of this bullshit. And I was
like you're paraphrasing, I'm hoping at that point.
Well, no, the choke, the apology was literally the chorus. So, Jorge, I wrote it down. Maar anyway, Jorge, dus choke, dat was echt het woord.
Okay.
Jorge dispensa, so choke the apology.
No, but okay, so that raises an interesting point as well, like is what I'm feeling. Because politically speaking, if anybody plays the game a little properly, you know, Nederland gotta be smiling that Rutte nailed this now too, like as well. Because for one simple reason. The ball is now in our court. Again, for this thing to go forward, because normally, because like there's a dance, like, you know, like there's a back and forth. Like when you have like a diplomatic group that goes and like by voorbeeld, the mission brings the head of state a gift. You have to present the gift with pomp and circumstance, but they also have to receive the gift with pomp and circumstance. But there has to be a unity of both the gift giving and the gift receiving. Yeah. Just as an example. So now the apology was given. The next step, logically, is to accept or not accept, if that's the case, the apology. Yeah. And it's bad enough that every territory got to answer to their own thing, which is fine enough. So there's a fair enough chance of no unity within that.
Yeah.
But within those territories themselves now, to like as well, certain folks got to be able to say, all right, you know what, that we all go ahead or we all don't or whatnot. And that's where I find it like interesting that you said some people could go rogue or not, or who were invited or not, or crash the party or not. And it's going to be interesting to see these next couple of weeks.
Because,
that's all I'm saying.
And there was apparently a protester even there. The protester was whisked away. So, and the lady who sang at first, so they invited her. Allegedly, at first, she said she doesn't want to participate.
Right.
Then she changed her mind. She was going to do a show. And when she did the show, I was like, seriously, are these the words that you are going to sing?
Show them to death.
So, and then about accepting the apology, the Prime Minister, Pekpisas, our Prime Minister, said, yeah, well, that's up to Parliament. I was like, why?
What?
But then they said, it's a representative of the people, blah, 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 blah,
And
blah,
let's be
blah.
honest and real, that's also kicking it a little bit down the fucking road, man.
Yeah, no, for him, because he doesn't want to take no...
He don't want
no,
to path of this,
no,
because
exactly.
because you want to have you, like, I can imagine, like, the whole faction with Pick kind of want to have their cake
And eat it too.
and eat it too.
Yep.
Because again, you got to be thinking re-election. You got to be thinking at least a year ahead, if not a year and a half, if not two. And do you want to be even? You have made hay enough of not being cozying up to the Dutch, and now the Dutch make what at least on paper seems a genuine effort to want to stretch out a hand. Do you want to play the asshole? Or do you want to shake a hand? Or do you want to like, you know what? Ik ga de kat uit de boom kijken and see how all this is going to play out. And I'm thinking that that's the line that they want to straddle right now.
Probably,
you know,
but yeah.
And it's not just them. It's like, I can imagine across the board that there's a lot of leaders now that look like they need to lead and they're not happy at the prospect. This is what I'm feeling. Not just here.
Yeah.
But across the board is like, oh shit, de boeman is niet zo boom meer, weet je? Dus wat gaan we nu doen, weet je? Dus like, that's my only feeling about that.
And my thing is with the people who are against these apology, who don't want the apology, I'm like, maar, like, how can you get to reparations? And hoe je dat ook gaat inkleden, hè? Because, and like we said, I don't want money. I just think you need a whole awareness, conscious racing, education thing. And you were more fun giving people chances for entrepreneurship and all these for development basically. So je kan kijken hoe je wil, maar how can you get to reparations if you don't get the acknowledgement and if you
don't get a culpability.
apologize, that means you recognize you done something wrong and that you need to repair. So these people, I don't know what their standpunten zijn. Dus what is jouw issue? Why are you saying don't accept the apology?
So I got nothing to base this off except my own experience, right? But because the thought hit me today that anybody who wants to be sour about this and doesn't want to werk mee or want to, so whether right or wrong, whether righteous or not, and I, just for the record, I don't think it's righteous, but I can understand the feeling. There's a different, like, you ever watched The Godfather? You've never seen The Godfather?
I've seen bits and pieces. I've seen one, maybe. I'm not sure which one of the 500 Godfathers. I've seen something.
500, there were only 3, Dartha. But anyway, no, but in the first scene of The Godfather, right? When the funeral home owner is talking about, I believe in America, and he gives the whole speech in the monologue, and then he lays out the problem like in front of the Godfather, whatnot. And then, the Godfather asks him one question: what do you want me to do? I want you to kill these boys because the boys had messed up his daughter or whatnot and so. And one of the things that drew me to the movie and that story was how the criminal, the Godfather, laid it out for him. You don't want justice. You want revenge. You want extra. Your daughter still lives. She can make a life. She can do this and that one. So you want me to murder these men for what they did to your daughter. And in that feeling, that idea of, you don't want the apology, you want people to bow down to you, zeg maar. You want to fuck people over, or you want to get as much pettiness out of the situation, whether or not, again, I said it like in the beginning, is whether or not it's right or wrong, I can understand the feeling. But I feel that like certain apologists wants to to hit them for everything they're worth, for every sin that was done in whatever years gone past by government, by instances, by the society, whatnot. They want people to pay, and not pay like was justified. They want people to pay for revenge. They want to feel good about the thing. And
Yeah, because I
mean?
saw some people protesting here with a sign, and it says "No apology. We deserve better." But I think the deserve better. I'm thinking in terms of reparation. You want something,
Yeah.
but the apology is het eerste station.
Yeah.
And like indeed, we have to see and watch. And talk is cheap, so we're gonna have to see what's going on. But
let us be clear about that. And I'm not trying to speak for you, but I think that you and I stand on the same line where. Again, good first step. Let's see some action now. You know what I mean?
Maar it's also what you said in the beginning. The ball is in our courts now. We also have to now do our homework and start demanding shit. Realistic shit.
Actually, we should have been done there.
Ja, dat moest al lang, pero inderdaad. Pero je kan wel zeggen van, nou oké, we could say the apology was een beetje overhaast. We could say, hey, it was a little bit too quick. We thought we had more time, so before we going in this lane of reparations, this is what we, Curacao, any of the countries, this is what we are gonna do. Yeah. Once we've done this, then we can talk reparation. But nu, we also have to do something. It's not time for us to go and, okay, let's wait to see
what does that look like here,
what we're gonna get.
Like, what does that look like here, man? Because again, there's a lot of voices. I still stand by what I said last week, that the only person or the only entity that could do something in an official capacity is the government, but behind the scenes, all stakeholders need to come together for something right now. But what I would like if I was king for a day here, I would say, okay, you know what? Either Dia de Bandera or like Emancipation, they both are good and both are right next to each other. Have that be the moment that we could respond to, Sahmar. And in between then and now, with intermittent diplomatic, forwardings as well. And
no, but that's too soon as well.
Even next year, July is too soon to say.
6 maanden is dat. But that is eigenlijk why they did the apology now, I feel. Because the whole next year, 2023, is going to be in taken. It's going to be remembering or celebrating, whatever you want to say, the 150, 160 year of abolition of slavery. Yeah. Depending how you count. Dus er zijn van allerlei things that are going on, activities and Kiko, and it would be a nice moment and a significant moment,
but
and
it is quick.
to come with something on July 1st. So, so I think that's what they're doing. But I'm just gonna say, hey, hold on eventjes, ga goed zitten. There are different studies being done now to calculate and to see. Just wait until all the results are in, and let's then formulate a plan and go.
Here's a wild idea. Normally ombudsmen are trained for conflict resolutions to get as not a judge, not a this, but their uitgangspunt is fair for everybody, right? Like to resolve a conflict.
Yeah.
You think maybe the ombudsman of all countries could have something to say about this? Like if there's not a unity of voice within all folks or one, so they could take a look at, let's say that it breaks down into factions. Like you got ultra, like nationalists that want like independence. You got the quote unquote Dutch apologists or whatever, and you got everybody that turn into blocks, and then those blocks come with their voices, and then like 6 different papers come, and the ombudsman or maybe a collection of them or one, so could look at it and be like, all right, you know what? Here's in the grote lijnen, here's what it is, and we present you with what it could be, of a formateur of zoiets. And in that same vein, when it be like, because y'all can't, you probably are not gonna come to it together yourself. I'm just gonna find the grote lijnen and present y'all with maybe 1 or 2 options from this is what the compromise is that looks the best that you could present. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think that I was assuming that something like that, not per se an ombudsman, but like a third party is going to lead the thing, because indeed there are so many groups, so many ideas, and somewhere you have to bring everything together and distill the way forward and come up with a reparation pakket that will serve the most people. You're never gonna serve everybody. There's always gonna be people saying this is not good, this is too little, this is la la la. But you guys just gotta make sure that you serve the most people with whatever solution or option you come.
By God, do not keep a referendum about that in any way, shape, or form. Yo, we saw what happened with Brexit, man. Don't. And trust, I'm a fan of the idea of a referendum, but that would be under the veronderstelling van everybody's educated, you know what I mean? Like everybody's at least a little bit aware of what it is and what's going on, and not swayed by what a charmante person could say to me to change my mind or whatever. You check what I mean? But yeah, but by God, I got one more question that I would want to put in front of you before that we put this to bed, because I found it interesting what a friend of mine brought in front of me. So Nederland did this, right? And Nederland is starting to make the way to do this or whatnot. So there have been little staker in the past from other European kind of countries as well, but the transatlantic slave trade is very much a European thing, right? Across the board. You can turn to any one of the countries that were empire at that moment. Even Germany, I think, had like one or two things that was going on.
Yeah, Namibia.
Right? So you could turn to that and say like this and that. Shout out to Pooks. His question was, does the EU make a bigger impact, or do you think that it should be an EU thing, or are there going to be countries that are going to follow suit with Holland because they started the line of doing this thing properly a little bit?
I don't think the EU should. I don't think the EU. It's between you and the former colonizer.
Right.
So I don't think the EU has a no.
No, but this is what I said, because like the question posed was, okay, so who follows suits? Is it England? Is it Spain? Is it Portugal? Is it France? And for me, I could see England, maybe Portugal doing it, but France and Spain got both too much blood and too much racism and pride within their ranks to want to say, you know what? We fucked up. Like, I don't see that happening, man.
But why should any country follow suit?
I don't know. I mean, just right thing to do. Like.
Yeah, it's definitely the right thing to do. But
that's what I'm saying. Like, if you look at because it's not just us. You could point to the whole Caribbean and see a tragedy.
And Africa and Latin America.
Okay,
and Asia.
But that's my point.
The whole world except Europe.
Actually, they did the tragedies to each other for a long time, and then they decided to like export.
Also.
No, but that's the thing. But it's like, does Nederland start a trend with this? Does it start a trend of
maybe, I think,
of like reconciliation in some way, shape, or form with the past and with how we were and with empire and how it was and all that?
I would say yes, but I think all the countries are even just waiting to see what's the rollout going to be, or what's the fallout going to be. So they want to see how is this whole thing with reparation, because that is ultimately what everybody's afraid. Nobody wants to pay. Nobody wants to, you
you profit from it, but you fucker you don't want.
Maar nobody wants to gaan op achteruit. Dus dat is ook de hesitation with all these countries to apologize, because if you apologize, you admit fault, and if you admit fault, you can be held liable. Yeah. So, en dat is een beetje de angst. So I'm thinking everybody's waiting to see hoeveel gaat dit Nederland kosten? Hoe gaan ze dat doen? And don't forget, Nederland had a relatively tiny empire.
Yeah.
Britain, the sun never set in the British Empire, right?
Basically, they Falklands, damn it. So yeah.
France, if you look at Africa, for example, or Spain, if you look at South America, gaat om heel veel. Het gaat om meer landen en grotere landen. Dus,
like they got more exposure. They got a lot more exposure.
Dus I can think that these countries are getting a little bit nervous now.
Right. No, but all right. But then I do think there's an opportunity in all of this in disguise. Part of the problem that like Germany has right now. So between everything with the Ukraine war and what and so, it has come to like chickens have come home to roost that Germany's entire economy is based off of cheap fuel, and the cheap fuel came from Russia, and now Russia's a bad guy. But that was already trending. That was like Ukraine accelerated the fact, but that was already trending. Like, yo, they are gonna be in a little bit of trouble the next 20 years or so, for pricing and all that thing too, like as a part of the whole like conversation. But for lack of a better term, a lot of these European economies are stagnant or close to stagnant, or doesn't have another place to grow or to change or to do whatever. You re-embrace the colonies. You have an exchange of ideas. You have, again, the closening of diplomatic ties, where without neo-colonialist taints or whatnot and so, you might have a new economy to sell to. You might have new blood coming in. You might have exchange of ideas. You might have, so by verbal, if Spain, for whatever reason, decides to get off off of a high horse, I don't know, somebody from Spain or from Latin America to tell me, but I get the feeling that Spain looks down upon Latin American people, and Latin American people think that are Spanish from the mainland people are, here, and they feel they.
Is that not everywhere? It's also for us. It's also for the Brits. It's all for everybody.
But imagine Spain have to do business with all of South America for whatever needs to be done. Helps them build like infrastructure with whatever engineers they got and whatnot. And so there's opportunity like in that. I see opportunity right here, right now it's a little fucked up, it's a little off, but like I can imagine Dutch contractors would want to help build like down here too, like as well. I can imagine that our contractors could get a piece of that pie if Holland pays the bill. There is growth to be had in doing right by people. You know what I mean? And I think that, like you said, the first step is the apology. Like, you don't have to break your back with payments, or you could work something out and say, all right, the payment, like how I said, develops things, and then you help build things, and then you end up enriching your own economy and like on the back end. It could happen. But I guess maybe I'm naive. Like maybe
this old building stuff. Like, I think in our situation it's different. We're a part of the kingdom, so we've always gotten shit. We fucked up shit, but we've gotten shit.
The scraps.
So and Dutch help usually is also they help them themselves. So we're gonna build a road, but it's gonna be a Dutch company building the road. Or local people can get in, but you're gonna use materials that we import from Holland. Or there is always
there's a catch.
There is a catch. So I'm gonna follow this very keenly to see what is the catch in this situation.
What would you hope for, my darling? Like, what do you think would be the best case for all of this? For everybody involved, the next year, next 5 years, next 10 years?
For me, again, it comes down, or it boils down to gewoon knowledge. I want European white Dutch people, I want Moroccan Dutch people, Turkish Dutch people saying, okay, this is also our history. Right. It's not just their history, it's our history. And the way they are now, the islands are now, the people are now, the level of development or underdevelopment, the level of economic disparity, all these things are a product of how it was. Right. So start with that. Mm-hmm. And then try to minimize the development gap. So indeed, en dan ga je naar de grote dingen kijken, like
the prosperity gap.
Okay, maybe that's
prosperity gap.
Yeah. But I want things to be because you can lift up our bruto nationaal product. You can give every citizen 40,000 or 400,000 gulden or whatever. You can, and that's how you lift up prosperity. But it should be a structural thing. Our roads should be good. Our hospitals should be good. Education should be good. So the prosperity comes way down the line. Okay. I am more concerned with the infrastructure that we ourselves can develop. And if we ourselves develop, prosperity will automatically come.
Okay. Last word? That was it?
That was it. For you?
Holy shit, no, man, I'm done too, man. I'm done. I'm cautious. I am the most cautiously optimistic I've ever been in my life at this point. But cautious optimism, I think, is the word that I got. So.
And I would love to hear from everybody, like Tyrone, like people, tell us what do you feel about this apology?
What's her face? Like Angie, but Angela was it?
Andrea,
yeah, we would like to hear you too as well.
Are we fools for thinking this is a good first step? Is it indeed, do we deserve better? What is deserving better? Yeah. When should this apology have taken place? Should it have taken place? Let us know. I'm really curious.
So, but for up until then, we shall remain, and we are forever.
Okay, thank you.
But remain is good too.
The
name is Marlo Brown.
Drunken Monks, Denise Fiber.
Yeah, man, guys, and
Catch
we'll
you
see
later.
you. Peace.